Hello internet! Wuthering Waves have just released information on the coming Galbrena, and yep, we finally got info on this one. She looks incredibly sick and I cannot wait to check out what she's all about. So in today's video, we'll be going through the pre-release analysis of Galbrena to just discuss and share with you what I think she's all about and what her best team would be, and including her build as well. Feel free to let me know what you think about Galbrena if you are gonna be pulling for her. I personally think I absolutely will, just based off the cool ult effect. It's like continuous black flames as damage. It looks pretty sick. And with that out the way, let's just jump right in. Galbrena is a fusion element pistol user. She is in fact a main DPS as we expected based on the live stream, as she utilizes heavy attack damage as her main damage type, but she might actually wield one other damage type entirely, which we'll see later. To start us off, she comes with a number of self buffs in her kit, which includes 20% attack when she's using certain attacks, self damage amplification in a lot of her attacks, and on top of that, various damage amplification during her enhanced state, and even more damage amplification after using her ultimate. So yeah, she can bring a lot of buffs to herself just by playing her combos correctly. Speaking of her playstyle, let's check it out. From all the skill descriptions that's read, it's honestly quite daunting when you see the lengthiness of it, but it's actually quite straightforward. Her playstyle will start by maxing out her forte during her normal form, which can be done via using her various attacks and combos. It's quite similar to like most other main DPS. You just gotta use their attacks and then they gain forte that way. Once you max her forte, you unlock her enhanced resonance skill. Upon using the enhanced resonance skill, you enter an enhanced state as well. By entering this enhanced state, your forte will be converted to purging flame, which you don't gotta worry about the term too much, but yeah, you'll essentially drain your forte now while attacking in this state. This is when you'll have the most buffs as well, obviously, and hence this will be her biggest damage window. You want to nuke your enemies during this time. Her mechanics are essentially just that, pretty straightforward, right? Of course, there's a lot of like nuances there as well, which I've summarized, but we'll cover them all fully in a full guide that we'll be posting soon. But from what we understand with her kit so far, it's quite similar to, say, Zaddy, where you're trying to max your forte to gain all the possible buffs and then nuke your enemies once you get in an enhanced state at the cost of forte. But if you've played with Zaddy before, do expect Galbrena to be something similar, at least in terms of just playstyle, but given her movements and weapon usage, I would say it's a whole different story visually. Now, we do see information on her weapon as well on the official Twitter, and it provides the fat 48.6% crit damage, and as its effect, you actually can see that she gains echo skill damage amplification alongside heavy attack damage amp. This directly means do expect Galbrena to have two main types of damage instead of just heavy attacks, which makes her pretty unique. If you look at every other main DPS we have in Wuthering Waves, honestly, just all of them usually focus on one main type of damage typing, be it Spectral Frazzle, be it heavy attack damage, be it ult damage, or maybe skill damage, right? But in this case, depending on how Galbrena's damage types are spread in her kit and how her numbers look, you might be able to use her in a lot of teams, some utilizing heavy attack damage and you boost a lot of it, like say with Yuno, some with echo damage where you boost a bunch of echo damage and just use the part of her kit where you can dish out the most echo damage consistently. Just like her design, she seems to be dual wielding, and yep, maybe her playstyle is all about dual wielding too. She can just do both. However though, this does mean the weapon is quite hyper specific too, as there are no other pistol users in the game so far that can deal echo skill damage and heavy damage all at once, like what Galbrena is suggesting she could do. But in any case, it's nice to see a new character that looks sick as hell, and they're coming in with something unique rather than just recycling the same type of way to play characters or damage type of characters. It's something fresh, I would say. It's pretty nice. With that said though, let's check out her best team now that we understand what her damage type is. Now, this best team part will actually be quite an interesting topic because first of all, Galbrena's absolute best team could include qiuyuan and is rumored to be, and with that team mainly utilizing echo skill damage as the damage type that will be focused on Galbrena. We don't know much about qiuyuan yet, so I can't say too much about that, but it is the pattern of Wuwa recently that the two new character banners are usually a match made in heaven, so it is a fair expectations, I would say. Given we just had Yuno that buffs heavy attack damage, I suppose qiuyuan has a good chance to buff echo skill damage for Galbrena, right? Yep, speaking of Yuno though, as one of Galbrena's alternative teams that can genuinely still just be as good as the best, we'll be looking at Galbrena and Yuno as a pairing in a team. Yuno provides heavy attack buffs, which is obviously great for Galbrena, and in that setup, Galbrena's kit will be focused to dish out heavy attack damage more, and yep, it's just all about dual wielding pistols. She can dual wield damage types as well. It's one of the most unique things I've seen in WoW. And that's not all though. Let's not forget Galbrena is also a fusion character. So if you don't want to choose between heavy attack or echo skill damage, you can most certainly just use Galbrena with Lupa and Brant to form a fully functional and strong mono fusion team. Buffing mainly fusion damage and applying fusion rest reduction on the enemies too, you could see this team shine quite well. Naturally, the playstyles and combos will all probably need tweaking based on what team you're using, but the point is, Galbrena can be used in a lot of teams without fully being locked by a specific support, making her probably the most versatile main DPS we have so far. I do see this as a blessing because I don't quite like it when, for someone like Zaddy, when used without Phoebe is such a drag, and when used with Phoebe, she becomes so much better. It kind of just means you're locked into using her with Phoebe in a Spectral Frazzle team. It can come as an issue when you try to get them and probably you just miss the one support that you needed for you to lock in that one team. At least with Galbrena, there's a lot of options for you, so you won't be tied with a character that just lacks that one thing for them to perform well, right? So yep, in that regard, I'm really looking forward to Galbrena and seeing how people can play with her. Now then, with that out the way, let's take a look into her build as well. And it seems it'll be the obvious choice of going with the new 3-piece set, Flame Wings Shadow. And what do you know? It boosts echo skill damage and heavy attack damage with even fusion damage and crit rate too. That is a stacked out set and perfect for Galbrena. It has been a pattern as well with sets being released based on just new characters and what they're all about. I would prefer if some sets are usable in a lot of other cases, but this one seems to really be very specific, much like a couple of others, especially recently with the 3-piece sets. Do let me know what you think about this. I do prefer in the future, perhaps, a lot of other characters can use these 3-piece sets to some good effect as well. And it won't just be a case of the moment a new version drops, we gotta farm for a whole new set for a new character. I would think it would get really convoluted soon if that's the case. Well, let me know what you think though. In terms of stats, she seems to be an obvious crit DPS, so you'll be looking out for crit rate, crit damage cost 4, fusion or attack percent cost 3s, and attack percent cost 1s. This is much like most other main DPSs, honestly, and it's not too big a surprise for Galbrena. And with all that said, let's talk about whether or not you should be pulling for Galbrena based on the information we have so far. Now, obviously, Wuthering Waves, you should just be playing whichever team you feel like you want to play the most. As long as you have their ideal team and you play them semi-well, you should be able to clear everything you need to. Now, whether or not Galbrena can be the best DPS in the game will have to depend on the number, but I will say usually and logically as well, with someone that is this versatile, they will likely not beat off the absolute best damage dealers we have in the game right now. But hey, you never know, maybe she's just somehow insanely good. But as just a main DPS though, it's almost certain that this is a character that can beat any game mode that you need her to do, as long as you have like a usable team for her that isn't just horribly played. And hey, given there's a lot of options for team comps, it's actually pretty good for you to bring out maybe the benched Lupa or the benched Brant because you're not using fusion teams at the moment, and just use Galbrena with that team. I know a lot of fusion team fans that would love to just try anything fusion related, and Galbrena is one of the options you could try, which is why in the end I'll actually say, in my opinion, Galbrena is definitely just if you really love her, go ahead and get her, but otherwise there's no real need to force yourself to get her. If you do get her, do expect to have a team for her because there's a lot of ways to use her, right? And you won't be locked behind needing one certain character for her to be very good. But for me, I would be pulling for her if I have some sort of plus, but I would certainly consider the future characters that we are teased before, especially with one long black-haired female that I've seen before. Don't know what her name is, but that thing will most certainly break the internet. Well, what I'm saying is, it is absolutely fair for you to skip Galbrena if you're not really liking her playstyle or if you just don't like her that much in general. And the converse is true. If you like her, go ahead and grab her. You'll have a team for her because of the just sheer amount of versatility you have. And you have a lot of fun with this unique dual wield mechanic, I would say, with 2 damage types. And yep, overall, still a very valid pull. She looks sick as heck. And that'll be all for my opinion. Do let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I hope I helped you out. Feel free to let me know if you're going to be pulling for Galbrena or not as well. That'll be all. Take care.